Even though we lose Shaq Lawson due to his signing with the Miami Dolphins, it looks like the Buffalo Bills still might have gotten better at defensive end. Welcome to Believers Talk. My name is Joe, and welcome to this free agency edition of Believers Talk, where we take a look at every single Buffalo Bills free agent and ask ourselves, did the Bills get a good deal? Was it the right move? And how will they help the Buffalo Bills in 2020? Again, guys, thank you for joining me on Believers Talk. My name is Joe. If you are new to the channel, guys, you want to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. After you hit that subscribe button, you want to go ahead and hit that notification bell, like this video, and leave a comment. Tell me what you think about the Buffalo Bills adding Mario Addison, defensive end, to their roster. Again, earlier in the day, yesterday, we found out that the Miami Dolphins had signed Shaq Lawson to a 3-year, $30 million deal, which obviously means he will not be back as a Buffalo Bill. That also means that we'll be playing against Shaq Lawson 2 times a season, so we want to make sure that we show out against him when he comes to Buffalo, when we go to Miami this upcoming season. But that aside, that meant that the Buffalo Bills had an even bigger need at the defensive end position. Again, we knew going into this offseason that we had a need. Even if we re-signed Shaq Lawson, we felt like we needed to get consistent pressure on the quarterback. Had issues with that in 2019, want to rectify that in 2020. And Mario Addison brings that certain element that in recent years, at least, he's been able to get an inordinate amount of pressure on quarterbacks. So he's been able to get pressure on quarterbacks a lot, and we hope that that continues here in Buffalo. Mario Addison is defensive end, formerly of, yes, you guessed it, the Carolina Panthers. 6'3", 260 pounds. He is 32 years old. So age might be a factor, especially when you talk about a contract number, right? Maybe shorter years, but also less dollars as well. I mean, I think personally that Mario Addison adds something to this team even without losing Shaq, or even with losing Shaq Lawson. And I think the Buffalo Bills can continue to get better at the defensive end position. I don't think this is our last move at defensive end, but I do think that this is helpful, especially when you talk about an older guy, because again, the Buffalo Bills run a rotational scheme. Again, remember, Shaq Lawson only played 47% of the Buffalo Bills snaps last season on defense. Mario Addison can improve on that number and still play less snaps and be well rested. So when he is in there, he's giving you his full 100%. So Mario Addison, like I said, formerly of the Carolina Panthers. So you're talking about more of those ties with Coach McDermott, with GM Brandon Beane. Obviously, they always like those players that they have a rapport with. We've seen that in years past, and we've seen that twice now in free agency already this season. Undrafted free agent in 2011, Mario Addison jumped from team to team to team before he found a home with the Carolina Panthers. Addison has been with the Bears, Colts, Redskins, and Panthers. So he bounced around between the Bears, Colts, and Redskins in about a year and a half's time. He bounced around from 2011 to 2012 with those 3 teams. And then he's been with the Carolina Panthers from 2013 to 2019. Who was the defensive coordinator of the Carolina Panthers from 2013 to 2016? That would be our guy, Coach Sean McDermott. So we know that they have a rapport together. And again, we talk about Mario Addison basically replacing a Shaq Lawson. So we look at Mario Addison's numbers, as we will here in a second, and we'll see that if he can continue that consistency that he's shown over the last 3 years, we really got a good guy here. If he has another 2-3 years left in the tank at a full elite level, as he's been playing the last 3 seasons, then man, I really like this signing for the Buffalo Bills. I don't know if Shaq Lawson has ever put up the production that we see from Mario Addison. Mario Addison in 2019 was credited with 49 quarterback pressures, had 9.5 sacks, 34 tackles, 14 QB hits in 15 games. So again, a guy that knows how to get pressure on the quarterback. If you're talking about 9.5 sacks, guys, that's actually the lowest amount. Or no, he had one in the last 4 seasons. It's been 9.5, 9.5, 11 and a 9. So, he's had a couple really good seasons in a row since 2016. And that partially gets me excited because, again, you're talking about a guy who's had double-digit sacks in the last 4 years. A guy that since 2016 ranks 11th in the league in sacks total. So pretty good number there with 39 sacks over the last 4 seasons. However, you also think about 2016. What else happened in 2016? That was the year, after that year, that was the year Coach McDermott left and went to the Buffalo Bills. Coach McDermott's now been the coach in Buffalo for 3 seasons, and in those 3 seasons is where Mario Addison did the majority of his work. But all started in 2016, Coach McDermott's last year with the Carolina Panthers as defensive coordinator. So again, since 2016, Mario Addison ranks 11th in sacks during that time period with 39. So again, a guy who who can put pressure on the quarterback, who can hit the quarterback, who knows how to get around that edge, adds a different element than a Shaq Lawson would. In his career, Mario Addison has played in 126 games. He started 51 of them. I'm not sure if Mario Addison comes in to be a starter. He did start 15 games last season, started 16 games the season before that. So I'm not sure if he's going to be a starter or just a rotational piece. Again, I don't think the Buffalo Bills are done here at the defensive end position. So we'll see what they do with Mario Addison. Again, let me know in the comment section, do you think that Mario Addison is going to come in and be a day one starter, or do we get younger in the draft? But then again, we have seen Coach McDermott get younger at a position in the draft and still start the savvy vet for a while until they get the rookie acclimated, and then they do a little bit of a rotation process. We saw that with Ty Nsekhe and Cody Ford on the offensive side last season. Maybe we do something like that this season at defensive end. Bring in a young guy at the defensive end spot, and then have Addison start at the beginning of the season. Maybe see if the young guy can take over midway through the season. As I continue to get texts, guys, I'm going to keep you up to date on free agency. So again, you want to make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. We did a few videos last night. We've already done a few videos this morning, and it's going to do nothing more but continue to grow. So hit that notification bell for more notifications. Again, in his career, he has 126 games, 51 starts, 11 forced fumbles, 4 fumble recoveries, 55 sacks. Remember, in those years from 2013 to 2019, he has 55 sacks, but 39 of those have come in the last 4 years. 222 tackles, 97 quarterback hits. So this is a guy that offensive lines have to be accountable for, right? They have to account for him at the defensive end position. He is going to make life uncomfortable for the quarterbacks in the NFL, especially AFC East, when you're talking about the Miami Dolphins, whoever they draft. You talk about the New York Jets with Sam Darnold, and then you talk about the New England Patriots, who, as we just found out earlier today, they're on the quarterback hunt now as well, as Tom Brady announced that he will not be with the New England Patriots in 2020. To me, that just says that this division is ours. And we'll talk about that in a later episode of Believers Talk. But right now, again, Mario Addison, I think this is really a really good fit for the Buffalo Bills. I know that he has ties with Coach McDermott and Brandon Beane, and so everyone's gonna make the joke about how another Carolina guy, another guy with ties to the team, is coming into Buffalo. But this really fits well with the culture that Coach McDermott wants to bring in, because remember, Coach McDermott was defensive coordinator in Ron Rivera, so that's where he learned culture from. Well, Mario Addison played under Ron Rivera even after Coach McDermott got the head coaching job in Buffalo. So this guy, Mario Addison, knows a lot about culture. Again, an older, savvy veteran guy who you can bring in there, who can teach the young guys a thing or two about, especially if we draft some young guys, about what it takes to be a defensive end in the NFL. Again, I think this is a good signing. We don't have contract details yet. We know it's a 3-year deal, but we don't know the money situation as of yet. I'm really hoping that's less than the Shaq Lawson deal. Shaq just signed a 3-year $30 million deal, so that's $10 million a season. Again, I would love to see him fall in that $6 to $8 million per year range. So you're talking about a 3-year, $24 million deal, or $18 million, somewhere in between there. I would be happy with that. Let me know what you would like to see him sign for. Again, the Buffalo Bills not strapped for cash at the moment, but they have done a lot of spending on day one. You talk about the Stephon Diggs move, obviously the AJ Klein move, and now of course Mario Addison. That does not mean we're not done. I've already seen some moves being made today, and we'll do some videos on them as well. So make sure that you subscribe to Believers Talk, hit that notification bell as we continually keep you up to date on all the Buffalo Bills free agent signings. Let me know in the comment section, what do you think about Mario Addison? Again, a guy over the past 4 seasons, 39 sacks, a pretty good number. I'll take that any day of the week. Again, talking about 9.5, 9, 11.5, and then another 9 seasons, something like that over the past 4 seasons, where he's just been a dominant defensive end for the Carolina Panthers. Now he comes to Buffalo. Hopefully he adds that edge for the Buffalo Bills as well, and just makes this defensive unit, who was pretty darn good last season, even better again. So again, thank you guys for joining me. I look forward to talking to you all soon. I probably will be posting another video here shortly as the Bills continue to add players. Might be going live to talk about the Bills as far as it pertains to the AFC East with the new news about Tom Brady with the Miami Dolphins signing a bunch of players yesterday and today. We'll talk about it all right here. So make sure you like this video, subscribe to Billievers Talk if you haven't already, and again, hit that notification bell. Will notify you when we put out new content. Until then, I look forward to talking to you all soon. Until I do, go Bills.